welcome to this podcast. And today we are talking to an expert in the field of family transformation. And we have with us Dr. Anuraag Guglaani, and he is an expert in the family transformation, and he's been working with over 24 industries and in 26 countries. And he is founder of Wazir Holdings, which is presently based in UAE. Why am I saying presently? That you may have a branch in India as well. So that's what is a manifestation which I would like. Welcome to our show, sir, and it was great knowing you.
Thank you, Gayatri. Thank you.
Sir, now looking from your perspective and your wide range of experience, what do you think that the present transformation of various family businesses are happening? And what's your insights on that, like the kind of companies you have dealt with?
So, my background, actually, I first transformed myself. I am a graduate of the National Defence Academy, trained to be a fighter jet pilot.
Okay.
And then I transformed myself for the corporate world.
Okay.
And my entire experience from then has been only in very, very large family business groups. Based out of, was based out of Dubai, but I live in 4 countries, which is UAE, Saudi, Qatar and Oman. And our businesses are invested and operating in 24 countries of Middle East, Africa and Southwest Asia in 26 different industries, and these are all large family business groups. So all that I know is about family businesses, how they scale up and the challenges they face through, and how success stories are created from them. We know worldwide 70% of family businesses do not survive into second generation and 90% don't survive in third generation. And actually the problem or the magnitude of the problem has become slightly more larger now, for the simple reason that the younger generation has more options. They could do their own startup, they could do passive investing, right, if they don't want to get their hands dirty. And so with all those options, the rate of disruption of family businesses has become rapid, right? Obviously with founders getting older, and the children from the family business groups who have had the pleasure of growing up in luxury and studying in some of the top universities across the world have got a very different feel and look of what a corporate structure looks like. So at the moment they finish their studies and come back and look into their own family business, they get the shock of their life because this is not how they expected money is made.
Correct.
Right? Things are very structured, things move, and they like a lot of technology into that business. And this is where they try and bring their feet into this, but we've been having a lot of discussion around board and this, but when you have a very boring board, which I mean where more than 60% of people are grey-haired men, then it can be very difficult for the youngsters to come into action, right? And which is why I have been a very strong promoter that boards should have not more than 60% grey-haired men and 40% should be equally divided between women and youth, right? And which has worked very well in our part of the world in ensuring that these family businesses are made attractive enough for the young generation to come in and play an active role.
Correct. So now having said this, as far as the family businesses, you're very appropriate that the second generation doesn't take it forward, and obviously the third generation is nowhere taking that business ahead. Now, given that kind of a situation, and people have built brands and they put their time and efforts, and now they really would love to see a succession happening for their businesses, and that's where the challenge arises, that the generation next is not interested or they wanted to do it in a different way. So how is the present people who are just putting in this much of efforts, what is their succession planning they are supposed to do, which is very important as far as if you want the legacies to be maintained?
See, I think over a period of time, having been involved with very, very large family business groups, it has become very clear to me that it is the older people who have to change their mindset, not the younger. This is very clear. It is the CEOs who have to change how to work with
the Gen Z.
The Gen Zs or whatever generation which exists, right? Otherwise, it is going to be a very, very difficult transition, right? The future does not belong to, the future belongs to the younger generation.
Correct.
And very clearly, they have a different way and different outlook of doing things, and that outlook is, in today's world, very valid, right? So this generational debate of we used to do it like this and we know it all and we've done it all versus someone who wants to come in and try an entirely different approach which is disruptive, innovative, right? That thought process will have to be allowed.
Correct.
That's how every business is being set up. Okay, a lot of them may also be failing, but this is a time where for innovation, for the thought process, they have to be used and supported by the people who know how to do business, and then it becomes a winning combination.
Win-win situation. Yes, absolutely.
Right? And otherwise, the threat becomes so severe, and I have hundreds of stories to tell of Indian-owned, of Gujarati-owned, of Malayali-owned, of Emirati-owned, Qatari-owned, Omani-owned business groups, all having different challenges, but it can reach to a situation where this disintegration can create a lot of family conflicts, right? Not only on business, but on personal front it can have massive.
Yeah.
So, which is why I again say that there is an education required to be given to 50
Older
plus.
generation.
To the people at C-suite and at board levels on how to manage and work along with the younger generation. That is where the proof of the pudding lies.
Correct. Absolutely. It's very so appropriate that you said. Now, having this kind of a approach, like the older generation have to learn and then they have to adapt to various things which the new generation is bringing into the table. So, how do you see the future of such kind of family-owned businesses where we have certain people who have been flexible, but as you very rightly said that certain people have not been flexible and those businesses are under a threat that there is nobody to succeed them or take that business ahead. Now, what is from the perspective of a business or as an expert of the transformation where you do it, how your inputs to these older generation can bring that transformation in that business?
So, what typically happens is that the issue is that the chairman or the founder of the business, who's now on the older side, has his team of trusted people with whom the whole business has grown, which is very valid. They are trusted, and having been doing the same thing for 15-20 years, they become very good at it. But that's what they are good at. They are good at day-to-day operations and managing status quo. But the whole market and the world outside has changed. Right? Which they are not exposed to. Which is where this and then because they have been there so long, they are not going to leave that place whatever may come. They want everyone is protecting their seat. So any young blood coming in is already seen as a threat, whether it is the son or the daughter or whosoever, right? So, which is why one of the program I created, which ran very well, was that in order to, and I was hitting with one stone, two birds. There is a huge amount of startups which are failing, right? And then you have family businesses getting disrupted. Now, why these startups are failing? Because these startups are being funded by angel investors, venture capitalists, private equities, right? And there is one segment of funding which is the family business funding, right? Family businesses are investor operators. They know how to do business. The rest of the three have a very vested kind, like a venture capitalist pretty much is like funding you, putting money on you and then starting to raise money on you, right? So they already work on the principle of 9 failures are okay for them. 1 success is good enough. It should be 100x unicorn. But imagine the plight of those 9 founders who know that they are being set up for failure. So the program we created under a family business, this was that we will adopt startups which are disrupting traditional businesses, right? Like for example, if a company is in logistics business and there is a startup which has come up with a technology under logistics, right? We would completely bring them on a plug and play mechanism because we have the entire infrastructure ready. There is admin, finance, marketing, sales, customer, right?
Absolutely.
Bring them, plug them, play, let them focus on their tech and innovation, give them all that support. And this particular startup should be led by the younger generation of the family business. By doing that, this whole team can show to everybody else in the company that things can be done differently. This is how business can be done. So you create a success story for the startup, for the younger founder and this. And like that, I think almost about 48 such startups we have successfully with a 98% success rate because we are solving those problems for which teams all sit, right? Startups fail because they...
So you have created a win-win situation actually.
Exactly. And that has worked very well. So, so this is one way of
transforming and probably guiding the older generation that there is need to change.
Yes. So it's a live example for people sitting there for long, that this is a beautiful blend of experience and innovation.
That's a great example, and I think it makes a lot of sense as well, because obviously many of them are investing in the tech and they don't know how to scale up, and these guys have invested in the traditional, they don't know how to become technology. So it's a clear win-win for both of them.
And I'll tell you for this. So I don't come from a tech background, even though I have studied for the flying part of it. But I have done today, I am a certified information security manager, I am a certified data privacy solution engineer, I am certified in governance of enterprise, and my doctorate is in AI automation. And I have done all of this only to be able to make value at board level. Right? We have heard a lot of people saying boards do not understand cyber risk, which is the biggest risk for any business today, right? And they don't understand technology.
Correct.
And which is why, if I qualified myself on these, in order to be able to support the C-suite and the team, the management, whom the board is supposed to be really working close with, or these startups, what language they are speaking, because they are talking a different language.
Correct.
So if you don't understand, then the wavelength is not matching. So certain things, that's why I say again, unlearning and learning at board level and at senior level is very important.
Very important. Now, when you just brought this point of AI automation, now what do you think is the future? Like, I mean, how AI can be helping the board to function smoothly and have their data points or data analysis, whatever they would love to have, probably not using the traditional method, and what are the new changes which they can adapt, and they can probably be smart enough to use those tools for their businesses?
See, I think the biggest thing which technology brings for anyone is facilitation of information, right? Otherwise, how many people do you go after and ask for information and so on, so right? So that's what technology has been enabling.
Correct.
Through whether your ERP or any of the other tools. But now it can also facilitate your decision-making process, right? It can make it faster. It can collate a lot of information, bring it to you, and throw you several options of solutions, and it's very easy for you to pick out of those and make the right or the make informed choice. So, technology or artificial intelligence, which is getting more intelligent. I mean, I was pioneer in bringing in our part of the world something which about 8-10 years earlier used to be called robotic process automation, right? So, which means that robotic process automation works on the principle of mimicking the action of a human being. Right, taking that and working, right? So, but now that whole thing has become, the bots have become now artificially intelligent, right? Which means that with every transaction they are learning faster.
Okay.
Correct. So, anything where a human being is sitting in front of data and working on data a whole day, whether it's a web or it's a ERP or it's any reconciliation, whatever, today can be adopted by a bot, and a bot can work 24/7, multiple functions, without getting digressed by a WhatsApp message coming from wife or
drinking tea or anything.
Yeah. So and they don't need leave.
Correct.
And for every 5 or 6 human beings, you need a supervisor, then you need a manager. So there's a whole hierarchy of people to be managed.
Actually.
So human beings now, we had the AI conference in Dubai recently, and you won't believe what was being discussed. We had NASA scientists and all. What was being discussed was about the rights of robots. For avoiding possible maltreatment by human beings.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is generative AI. This is generative AI, where we are saying that human beings have to learn the art of managing
respecting
machines.
The rights, respecting the rights.
Managing machines. We were managing people till now. Now machines are a part of our workforce.
So we need
to know the art of managing machines more effectively, and which is why disciplines like prompt engineering, which has come up, which means, in basic thing we say, if you ask the right questions, you get the right answers, right? So that's what prompt engineering is. You will have to put it in the right manner to an AI-enabled platform in order to get the right answer. So just imagine that board which can learn all of this, right, and can constantly be updated, right? Now the question is, can they? At a certain age, technology you cannot befriend technology so easily. We all know it, right? So which is why, in my belief is that the age bracket of people at boards will keep on
going down.
They're going down. Yeah,
Correct.
because they
Of
need
this adaptability.
Yes, this adaptability. That's very
True.
important.
That's true. Because it happens that we are talking about somebody who's a very senior level, but somebody who's been done it and being doing it for a number of years, even if the age is 35,
True.
they still are stuck.
True.
They say, I know it all, I will do it the way I want to do it. So that is, it may not be age centric, but it is a promoter mindset which they need to change.
Exactly.
That's what I can understand. So now coming from these scenarios where we need to really have a more educated board, what is the role of such kind of institutions like MentorMyBoard? Like, what is their role, do you think, is going to help the future?
See, one of the things is the WOMB program, right? Women on Mentorship Board. And like I'm saying, that you need to have now a good percentage of women and youth on the board, right? And I think probably that is what they should target, right? Because the experienced people who are there are already there, right? It is this segment where there is a gap, where who can be prepared to take up these board positions. But they may not have all that experience, correct? And which is that element, and also things like technology-based education for board usage. We're not saying you have to become a computer engineer here, right? But how you can effectively use it at board level. Cross-cultural. Like I'll tell you, one of the biggest things where a lot of Indians and Indian companies fail when they try to go overseas is because because Indians are used to something called transactional mindset, right? Whereas in our part of the world, transactions are a byproduct of relationship and not the other way around. So if you have a very strong relationship, effective relationship at a personal and professional level, it translates into business or it translates into a transaction. But typically our way of approach is first straight away it's transaction in the mind, and if transaction works, then relationship may happen, right? And that doesn't work everywhere else, right?
Everywhere else.
So this cross-cultural, as we see, our Prime Minister is again in the US now. There's a lot happening on foreign policy, on going in multiple places. So there is a lot of things which are going to happen between countries, right? So for the companies which want to go overseas should have a board which understands this cultural dynamics of other nationalities, culture.
Other countries,
so these are the kind of things which MMB can bring as a very different value add.
That makes really a good sense that they can bring these cross-border learnings for the people. That's really well suggested, sir. I think it will be noted and conveyed also. Now, looking at the scenario of the global, you are actually helping a lot of companies in UAE and that side of Middle East countries. Now, in India, what is the scenario on the family businesses and the succession planning, which I being a chartered accountant and being also seeing these kind of successions happening, is very minimalistic. I would like to have your take on it, and how do you think India should progress on this?
See, ironically, a lot of kids from Indian family businesses are relocating out of the country.
Yeah.
Even to Dubai, many of them have very clearly told, please set up our facilities there, and you look at India to the far, and we will look at rest of the world, sitting in Dubai. Not only that, I have been instrumental recently. We've got this university Symbiosis into Dubai now, and I was giving a speech to the first batch of Symbiosis. And later I was interacting with the students, and I found that quite a few students are coming from family business background here, and it's not the MBA that they have come for. It is for using that MBA as an opportunity to set up their business, family business there in Dubai, right, and take that part, because that's what they think is an easier process rather than trying to break it into their own family businesses. But which also means that in this manner the business is going to scale up.
Correct.
It may not happen naturally or organically, but through this momentum,
Yes.
Right. So they are already tuned to. So there was a girl I met, and she said, I need you as my mentor because I want to start trading of food stuff, and then I want to get into real estate, and then I want to get into so and so, because these are my businesses in
my back in my
this,
country.
yeah, and I want to prove to my father that I can do it
also do it.
differently
Oh,
here,
okay,
but I'll do
okay.
it in my manner. So this is what's happening. And second, obviously, India and the Gulf and many other countries, there is very strong relationship now because of current foreign policies and Prime Minister's initiative, including things like yoga, including everything which is working a lot. So that brings huge opportunities of trade between both. But more importantly, for family businesses here, we keep on hearing a lot of real estate boom in Dubai, too much people buying. Where are all these people come? Earlier from India, only the top tier used to go. Now you have a lot of mid-level people who have bought properties there.
Properties in Dubai.
So there are a lot of people who are coming from business background. If you have to go there, a lot of joint ventures, mergers, acquisitions, transactions will happen between both the countries. So this whole, I think, the whole family business scenario, which you are saying, it may not be happening that much here, if that succession part, but I think it is going to rapidly take off because of these global opportunities what it presents.
Which is giving,
Which is bringing in. And then you take from the outside world, like we say, you match the East and the West, blend the East and the West to create something more powerful than what it is, and that's what will happen.
Yes, that's precisely makes a lot of sense because right now the global economy is open for us, and there are a lot of people, as you, I mean, it's really good to hear that some children have gone there and they said they are going to set up their own family's business there in that country. So that's really amazing to hear. Thank you so much, and it was really wonderful talking to you, sir, and a lot of great insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gayatri. Thank you for asking the right questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much.